Hello everybody, this is Havoc and welcome to a quick video on Dawn of Man. Dawn of Man is a prehistoric city builder being both developed and published by Madruga Works. With several games of this genre coming out next year in 2019, I thought I'd give you a first look at the first one I have access to. This isn't an official review, it's more of an impression slash quick guide for the things currently in this preview beta build. I'll try my best not to give you information overload or hardcore focus on mechanics, rather just a quick rundown of the game and my time currently with it. In Dawn of Man, you start with a humble gathering of huts and a few people whom you must lead from survival to expansion and evolution from the Stone Age to the Iron Age. Here's my thoughts on a few of the areas where you can make that happen. While you can manually command a person or persons to do a certain task, you can set up work areas to do a range of tasks. From hunting, fishing, and gathering fruits, to chopping down trees or picking up various rocks for production. Moreover, you can set both a limit on how much of a certain resource you want to have in total, as well as how many people you want working there, up to a maximum of 5. As you progress through the ages, these work areas will begin to include more things for your people to do and fulfill more complicated production lines. The work areas are a different means of controlling your population that I haven't really seen in a strategy game. It worked well, even though I wish I could devote more people to work within those areas. The tech tree and knowledge gets a mention before the buildings in Dawn of Man, primarily because without the tech tree and without knowledge, you don't have access to about 95% of the buildings available. Knowledge is the currency by which you gain technology, and knowledge is gained by doing actions such as hunting various animals, gathering resources, producing items, and achieving higher populations. At specific intervals of any of these actions, you'll gain knowledge. The tech tree is decently thorough without it being too cumbersome or deep before advancing onto new unlockable buildings and eras. All the technologies made sense and they were appropriate for the era they were set in. That's about all I have to say about it. In the beginning, your buildings are very limited naturally. As technology progresses and your settlement grows, you get to unlock other buildings in areas such as residence, storage, and production, with some of the more specialized areas of religion and transportation. You can eventually build defenses for your town and develop various weapons to help take down animals as well as take down foreign raiders. There were a couple of hiccups I found in the beta in terms of buildings. The workload of your people determines how effectively they accomplish tasks. If the workload gets too high, things get really slow, especially in the non-work areas like production lines. However, in my playthrough, even when workload was as low as 50%, several of my production buildings were not being worked, which caused big issues for my production flow, leading to further problems down the road. It's possible that I was doing something wrong, but it was frustrating nonetheless. As you can see in my current village, I've got on average 110 people. Food's not super great at the moment, but I've got one heck of a sweet stone wall surrounding my city. To be completely honest, I pushed my city as quickly as possible to get to the Iron Age solely for this impressions video. I have made several mistakes along the way and largely ignored a lot of the aspects of a slower playthrough. Were I to do this the quote right way, I'd have around probably 200 to 300 people before getting into the late game with a really solid steady production line before moving along. The village would be much tighter and the walls would circle the residential buildings only, just things of that nature. That doesn't mean I'm not enjoying this game. I started a few villages before this just to get the gameplay down and it's very fun to play. The overall management system could be tweaked a bit, such as allowing more people to work in the work area or having more user interface information for resources like the various crops you can eventually plant. But this is in such an early beta phase, I can't even really call it a negative thing just because it's so early in development. Dawn of Man could easily be called the Prehistoric Banished, simply due to how similar so many aspects of the game are. You gather resources, you control your population, you determine how many people are needed in certain areas, and you watch as your city expands and grows. What separates it is a more in-depth system. The tech tree is something that does actually take some forethought into. Investing in a drying rack may seem trivial and not necessary, but dried meat lasts longer, which allows for long-term food storage, which might just get you through the winter. Do you want to craft better tools? Or do you want to domesticate dogs to help you fend off bigger wild animals and even raiders? The tech order you choose will, in some cases, determine whether your people make it or break it. Another separation is the setting. Getting to hunt and tame ancient animals is pretty cool. Seeing your group try and take down a mammoth is pretty entertaining to say the least. Being able to build up your defenses around your prehistoric town is an accomplishment, and defending your territory against those that want to kill you is just as appeasing. Dawn of Man is a pretty daggum fun city builder. Now that I've reached several milestones, I can take on new missions and new settings that were locked to me before. You bet I'll be looking at them soon. I can't wait to see what Madruga Works does with the game leading up to release and how they'll expand the game in the future. It's definitely a game I'll continue to watch and play as it develops. Dawn of Man will release in full on March 1st, 2019. You can check out the Steam link in the description below. Let me know what you think of the game from what you saw, or your thoughts if you've already been able to play the beta. I appreciate you taking the time to watch First Impressions video. Let me know what you think of it and if I should do more of these types of videos in the future. Subscribe to the channel if you like what you saw and you want to see more. As always, this is Havoc, and I'm out of here.